So we are going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 4, and in the last episode we saw the red team go on kind of an expansionist quest, recapturing the mainland of the yellow team, who has fled over to these Mediterranean islands, but we also saw them expand up and take over the Syrian country, in which some of their people, or most of the Syrian country's people, moved over to Anatolia, creating this kind of greenish Anatolian country. Over in Iberia, we also saw them expand up north, and the Galicians, they kind of pissed the Iberians off. And you don't piss the Iberians off. But over in Italy, we saw a civil war kind of take place, in which the northern tribes of Italy that the Romans have been fighting to take over rebelled away and formed their own state. We also saw Corsica rebel away. But anyways, if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to like and subscribe. On the road to 3,000 subscribers, help out a ton if you supported this channel on that way. And anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. So, one more real quick thing. If the explored areas look a little bit different, and that's because I changed it a little bit. Now I have the water, it's on its own layer, and the land is also on its own layer, as you can see, yeah. But then we also have the explored areas on its own layer. It already was, but now I just made it a little bit more simpler. So yeah, if like more of Africa is explored, that's why. Anyways, let's go ahead and go down to the purple country. We haven't talked about them in a little bit. And well, it's because they've been busy exploring the rest of this lake, and well, surprise, they have just explored it all. Now their goal is to surround the whole thing. So we see these guys explore a little bit more west, just, you know, this is more just because I think it'll look better if I explored west. And then we start to see the purple team expand into these areas around this lake. We see them send an expedition out from the northern area of the lake going west, and the south also going west. These guys are making quick work as their population has grown quite a bit since we last talked about them. And we see a lot of people moving down to these newly explored and annexed areas. We see these guys reach all the way out to here before stopping for a little bit to go get more supplies. And we'll come back to these guys later. But right now, let's head over just east to the Egyptian team. These guys, they're pretty scary. And we're going to continue to see these guys expand down along the Nile. Eventually, they reach this cross section here. And they really stop, and they just kind of go east towards the ocean and connect up with their land. In other words, I'm making this border look better. So we now see the Egyptians looking something like this, with more expeditions going down south even more. And eventually they reach this part of Africa. We see them cross over and begin to explore into the the Horn of Africa. And a small group that goes over here is going to set up an expedition group right here, just to kind of learn the area, learn the animals, learn the supplies, because this was a pretty big jump for the red team, at least, because they have a pretty bad navy. But these guys, they're getting really big, and who knows how much bigger they can get before, you know, some bad stuff starts to happen. But, you know, they're just going to also... They don't really care. We don't care if if the people are getting unrested. We don't care. We just want to keep expanding. Anyways, while the red team is doing that, let's head up over to Anatolia and the Greeks. The Anatolians and the Greeks share pretty good relations because, well, you'd think they'd have bad relations because the Syrian team had pretty bad relations with the Greeks. But no, surprisingly, these two have quite good relations. And we even see that because, well, these two both make a landing inside of Crete pretty much at the same time. And we pretty much see these guys split Crete in half. These two are very diplomatic, and this is really the first major diplomacy we see. Because the red team, they're kind of isolationist in the fact that they don't talk to anyone. They'll pretty much do anything for their own self-interest. The Iberians, their leader is a really good war general. It's kind of scary to talk to them. And the Italians are busy falling apart. So really, this is like the main diplomacy that's happening in the world right now. Well, this area of the yellow team just broke away. Yeah, in this area, it was kind of gold team citizens that were already settling in this area. And then the yellow team kind of just came into this area. And the gold team citizens didn't really like that they were being ruled by the yellow team. They don't really know who the yellow team is, so it's kind of surprising just to see them pop up. But they're still mad at the Greek team for not coming back and rescuing them from the yellow team. So we're going to see these guys form their own nation, with their capital city right here. And boom, we have a new Greek nation. Who knows how long they'll last, because they have an interesting country above them. Speaking of the Greeks, we're going to see them expand up north a little bit. They expand up and eventually move into this little area. I don't know what this is. But we also see them move along the Aegean coast. And we see these guys kind of solidify their border in better words, me making their border look better like this. But we can't forget about the Anatolians, and I promise this is the last thing I'll do over here for now. But we also see these guys expand out east, and this may be because, I don't know. I don't have a reason for them to do this. They just do it. Now moving over to Italy, we recently saw the Blue Italians almost dominate this whole area. But recently, it's kind of just here. The Blue Italians, they fell apart. I mean, look at them. Corsica somehow broke away. But these guys are no longer a monarchist type government. They are a republic, kind of the same thing with Anatolia. But these guys, they're democratic. These guys, they're a republic. Kind of like the consuls thing. The new Italian government is kind of like anti-expansion. But there are some people down over inside of the city of Carthage who disagree, and they're going to go ahead and expand the borders of the blue team. They move into this area right here, areas that, in their opinion, should have been theirs a long time ago. And we see them move out right here, about here. Problem, this does not go well with the two consuls, or no, the three consuls that are here. And they all vote in favor of punishing the general or the leader of the city that was in charge of this. So they move into the city right here to try and capture the guy and bring him back to the capital to punish him. But as they arrive, we go ahead and see the Carthage area, or the African areas of the blue team, open up an open rebellion. And two of the consuls are captured and killed. One of the consuls manages to escape over to Malta and then eventually make it back to this city inside of Sicily. But the damage has already been done, and we go ahead and see the Carthaginian areas of Africa go ahead and break away from the blue team as well. The blue team is doing something wrong. First, these northern areas up here, and now their very first settlement over inside of Carthage has just broken away. Their origin areas have just broken away, and this is going to be very, very unpopular with the main people of Italy. How have you just letting these areas go up in flame? The consul is going to be tracked down, and he's going to be taken out of power, and 3 new consuls will take their spots. And the decision is made to go ahead and give these guys their independence. Something that they really did not want to do, but they are not in the position to fight a war right now. So let's go ahead and look at a peace treaty. I sat here for like 10 minutes deciding a color for this country, and I'm just going to go with this like lighter gold color. There is a lot of yellow in this area, at least for now. But, you know, I'll just get over it. These guys' capital will be right here, and the blue team will be greatly devastated by this. Carthage gave a lot of income, and now they are singled out just to Italy, and even worse, Sardinia is even rethinking their choice of staying inside of Italy. But we'll come back to this later, and in later I mean in a future episode, because we now need to go over to the Iberians, and they have just finished building that major city. Or this major kingdom that they were building up over inside of Brittany. And they label this new, whatever their capital city name is, it's new whatever that city's name is. But the Iberians, they're going to want to connect up their land up over here with this new kingdom. So we see them start to expand up the coast. They go ahead and expand their border with the Catalonians. And they also work from Brittany to move down into this area. And eventually a connection is made, and the Iberians are getting really strong. But there's one more thing they crave, and this is going to be something that I'm very sad I have to do. But troops are going to enter into the Catalonian country, my favorite country in this series so far. And very quickly we see the Catalonians wiped out of the map. Except for their islands, they're going to survive. But their islands are actually going to choose to join up with Corsica. And, well, inside of a very simple peace treaty, full annexation. The Iberians are the rightful ruler of Iberia, and we now see these guys start to explore up north in search of even more land. They move up and discover Normandy, and they start to explore along the British Channel, getting very close to England, and eventually they even reach up into this Belgian area and up into the Netherlands. But it is way too cold up here compared to down here. They were not prepared for any of this freezingness. So we see them head back down over to the new capital. And I'm just going to freshen up this border a little bit. So now their border looks like this, a pretty big expansion. But now we need to go down into their Moroccan area, in which we also see these guys start to expand a little bit. It's a teensy bit, but it makes the people of this area happier because they know they're not getting unnoticed. And between the Iberians and the Egyptians, it's pretty close in how strong they are. Iberia is probably a little bit weaker just because these guys have had... Actually, no, they've had the same amount of invasions. These guys have had 2, and these guys have had 2. So really, I'd actually say the Iberians are stronger because of their great military general as their leader. Oh, and the purple team, they have just encircled this whole lake. Something they've wanted to do for a long time, pretty much their whole life's goal. They've just completed it, and the trade for this country has just gone up a lot. It is so easy to get from here to here, and overall this country is benefiting so much from this lake. So much so that the Egyptians don't really want to invade them because this would be the toughest invasion they've had to go through yet. And they don't even really know how strong these guys are. But we gotta have some more new countries in this episode. So if we go over to the Anatolian country, we see these guys, they have a settler, a captain of a huge fleet of boats. He wants to sail across the Black Sea because he thinks if he sails across here, he will be able to make it down over here. Or he might even think he'll be able to make it inside of this lake. He's pretty stupid. But, you know, they're going to try it, so they head up this way. And eventually they go ahead and reach Crimea. And as they land, yet another unknown civilization has just been found. But unlike the rest, these guys are actually pretty friendly. The Lime Crimeans have just been found. And these guys are actually pretty advanced for where they were. It's kind of like how Japan was. The Greeks will get informed by this new country, by the Anatolians. And they're actually going to make a shot at going up this way. Of course, they don't know they're up here, but, you know, they're just going to go ahead and go up here. And whoa, by chance, definitely not because of plot, they find each other. And now we kind of know of this whole area up here that is connected. And once this reaches the rest of the world, we see a lot of these European countries right here. Wonder how much room is there up here and how much can they really expand up north. And that is going to end the video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. Like I say at the start of every single video, on the road to 3,000 subscribers, help out a ton if you supported the channel along this way. And anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.